Hello, this is Karen Hodson, Editor-in-Chief of SDM Magazine, and I am here with Colin DePree, Director of Sales Strategy for North America for Salto. 25 years ago, Salto began offering wireless network smart locks and has since become a leader in that space, expanding to offer biometrics, intercoms, and ID management. Welcome, Colin.
Hello, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
So Salto is celebrating 25 years of innovation. From your perspective, leading strategy and sales in North America, what does this milestone mean for the security industry?
For the security industry as a whole, I think it's super exciting. Obviously the security industry is dates long back. And while sometimes people may say we're a little bit slower industry to react and to grow, I think the growth of Salto and the expansion of the security industry into other new and exciting things really show that commitment to evolve and that commitment to our customers, right? Like when we identify something that does move security forward or enables access to be more accessible to all, there is a willingness to adopt and to grow. And well, yes, some may say it takes longer than we would like it to. I think that also speaks to the importance that our industry carries and what safety and security means to our clients. Um, that there is the desire to grow, but there is that cautious side of let's make sure there is trust. Let's make sure there is accountability. And so I think seeing Salto eclipse that 25 year when we brought something new to the market, it shows that willingness to go. And if we're committed to that safety, that security, and enabling of access, others are interested, and we've now become an integral part of the security industry, and it speaks a lot to our founding team. It speaks a lot to the culture that we've built at Salto, but also to the industry as a whole, and that willingness to grow, identify ways to do better for our customers, and it's super exciting time at Salto to celebrate 25 years.
Oh, great. Well, congratulations on that milestone. Salto pioneered the first wire-free network smart locking systems. At that time, access control was fragmented and inflexible. How has the industry changed since then? And do you believe Salto is still considered a disruptor in the security space?
A lot has changed, certainly. Um, I think the evolution of some of the ecosystem, which we'll talk a little bit more about it as we've kind of brought the ecosystem to the forefront as the group of companies here at Salto. That ecosystem has impacted that fragmentation and that inflexibility. But I think what's important to not lose sight of is that was driven by the customers, right? If we're going to be a part of creating access and managing access, and I don't like to use the word controlling access, but that's at our core of what we
The
do,
word.
right? That was inflexible, and the end users and the people carrying the credentials and the people needing access needed to break down those barriers of fragmentation and being inflexible. Um, and the ecosystem allows you to do that, right? It allows you to move faster by finding partners, by improving your development capabilities and becoming more flexible just as your own industry and your own company. Um, so I think you are starting to see the response being driven by the market saying, hey, we need better solutions. We need more complete solutions and not just in solving one problem at a time. Customers are now saying you need to solve multiple problems at a time, which forces us to be more flexible, forces us to come together and partner in different ways. So I certainly think you're seeing that fragmentation and inflexibility being driven by the market demand. Um, and then whether I consider us a disruptor in the security space, I certainly still do, but in a different capacity, because while we are a disruptor in some spaces, we've also built ourselves a leadership position in some spaces. And I think when you've become a leader in some of the areas in which you deliver solutions, it's also incumbent that you stay a disruptor to some of what we do, right? And I think one of the things that I love most about what we do here at Salto is we've never lost that innovative spirit that our founders had 25 years ago. And I think as soon as you lose that innovative spirit, you lose that disruptor approach. And we've got to be willing to disrupt not only the industry, but ourselves sometimes. And I do believe that Salto still has that innovative spirit, that desire to be a disruptor. But we're not only a disruptor anymore, right? We have proven our capabilities and have established some leadership positions in various avenues, and take great pride in that still today.
So you're an established disruptor.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like
Okay.
it.
So today, Salto is one of the top three electronic lock manufacturers globally. What's driving the massive adoption of electronic access, and how much runway is left in this transformation?
So there's tremendous runway still left in this, right? There are still doors all over that are controlled by mechanical keys. So opportunity to continue to expand and grow the electronic access is tremendous. What's driving some of that access that opportunity though is not just purely number of doors, right? There's a number of things contributing to that continued growth. Um, one, reduction of infrastructure, right? And organizations are continuously looking at ways to reduce the reliance on their infrastructure, lower costs on deployment by reducing infrastructure. And so when you bring wire-free and wireless access, reducing cable runs and impact into the buildings, and how many holes do you have to drill through walls to get access to where you need it? So that reduction of infrastructure is certainly driving that. And then I think data, access to data is a critical one in that. When you think about kind of traditional access control deployments, you're gaining data from maybe 20 to 40% of your access points, and the rest are on mechanical keys, and you don't have that data. And the world today is just becoming so data reliant and so data hungry, that being able to provide that data through electronic access is a tremendous driver in why we're seeing continued growth in the access space.
Data is the new oil or the new gold or whatever your analogy
Yeah,
is.
a
Yes,
hundred percent,
definitely.
100%.
The Salto ecosystem now unites Gantner, Salto, and Vintia. How does this ecosystem approach position you differently than competitors who focus solely on locks?
I think we're really excited about this position because you're seeing a migration away from products to solutions. And how do we solve more than one problem, right? I was referencing that earlier today that when customers are looking at solutions providers, they don't want just one solution. They don't just want one problem solved. They want a solution that's going to solve multiple problems for them or create multiple opportunities for them. And so I think one of the beauties is looking at it from that solutions perspective and moving beyond just one component. And then I think the other piece, I referenced it earlier, I don't like to say access control, right? We really look at things about enabling access and how do we create access to more, whether that's more doors or maybe it's access for things into lockers. One of the reasons we've invested in Gantner is there are a lot of people who are trying to get access, store stuff, make stuff more secure. That doesn't involve getting people through doors, but involves getting things through doors. And again, that comes back to now you're getting data on those things of what you're keeping secure, where you're accessing those things. Um, so for us, the ecosystem really is about delivering solutions that solve for more than one problem and really being open about access is about enabling access to more than just doors and kind of moving beyond just opening doors.
It's not just security anymore. It's business.
Yeah,
It's business processes. Yes.
100%. Yep.
With over 100,000 installations spanning 13 industry verticals, which market segments are you most excited about for future growth?
A lot. I think there's a lot of growth that can come in a number of different vertical markets. Today we're really big in hospitality and in multifamily, and I think we're going to continue to see growth in those spaces. The housing market is still a big question mark of how do we provide affordable housing better than we do today. And so I see a lot of growth continuing in that space. You're hearing all the time about travel and the amount of non-business travel and destination resorts. And so I think we're going to continue to grow in hospitality. But for me, those are kind of our core ones already. I don't want to shy away and say I don't see growth in those because I do. But I'm really excited about a couple of other ones. I think healthcare is one that is super interesting to me. Obviously, with medications and today a lot of concern around doctor and nurse safety from a security perspective. But you're also seeing a unique transition in the healthcare space around community hospitals and community healthcares where a lot of things used to be converged on the hospital, and you're now seeing some movement out into the market with smaller clinics and more destination healthcare and some of that sort of stuff. So I think there's a lot of uniqueness in the healthcare space, that as access providers, we can deliver both critical experiences, but also critical safety and security concerns in the healthcare space. And I'm super excited about where we see that growing.
Great. Well, speaking of growth and where things are going, your anniversary campaign is Timeless Access, Limitless Experience. So when you celebrate your 50th anniversary in 2050, what do you want Salto to be known for?
Yeah, I mean, I think that timeless access speaks a lot to that, right? And I don't think what I want us to be known for after our 50th anniversary is all that far for what our core beliefs are today, right? Which is that focus on enabling access. How do we make access effortless while also keeping it secure? I think our founders had the vision 25 years ago about staying focused on enabling access. Whether that's through our foundation, whether that's through how we approach our challenges today, creating access is what Salto is about, not controlling access. And so in 50 years, if people are talking about how we created opportunities for people to experience memories, keep their loved ones safe, whatever that is, if we're known in 50 years for creating and enabling access to more, I'll be happy.
Great. Maybe we won't be still calling it access control then.
I hope not. That's my goal. I'd love it.
All
I'd
right.
love it.
Well, congratulations again, and it was very nice speaking with you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
For more information on Salto and their anniversary, visit the link in the caption. Thank you.